am working on trying to figure out why I'm having a hard time uploading all of my videos. It takes like 2 to 3 hours. It takes 2 hours for a 7-minute video. So imagine how long it takes for my 35-minute video, 40-minute video. Exactly. Exactly. What's up? How you doing, Ray of Sunshines? I am your girl, Talisa Ray, lifestyle coach. We are reviewing Married at First Sight season number 11, episode number 10, Deal Breakers. If you are new to my channel, click subscribe and the notification bell. But I go couple by couple, not scene by scene. And I'm just going to start with the first couple I saw, which was Amani and Woody. Listen, he is physically attracted to his wife. Whatever she did got him mesmerized. The way she behaves with him, the way she treats him, has him enamored with her. Like all she had was a little bit of back out and some ankle. And he was like, yes, I like that skin. I thought, boy, relax. I mean, y'all brushing y'all teeth in the morning. Relax, okay? Relax. One of their biggest things right now is that they have different sleep patterns. He's an early riser and she is a late sleeper. And it could cause conflict if you don't know how to manage that in your relationship. Specifically, if you try to make me get up at 6 a.m. on Saturday, and on Saturdays, I like to sleep till 9, 9:30, 10, 10, 11. Okay, don't do that to me. Don't put me on your schedule. You get up, you make breakfast, and you give me some mimosa. And by the time you finish and I'm smelling that food, I'm coming, okay? Because I'm up all night. I'm up till 3, 4 in the morning. I'm going to keep it a band. Everybody knows. If you follow me on Instagram, you would know because I be having late night stories. Follow me on Snapchat. I be talking to y'all when I'm in the bed in my bonnet. So y'all should be following me. Nonetheless, while he's making breakfast tacos or burritos, couldn't figure out which one, must have been fajitas, that's a good compromise in the middle, they start talking about the disciplining their children, and Woody's like, I got whippings every day. Woody was a bad kid, that's why, you know. And she says, I didn't get whippings at all. Now I do want people who don't have children to understand that raising boys and raising girls are different. Boys need a little more routine. You need to be a little more firm, a little more strict with them, because they are going to test the limits and they are hard-headed. Girls, you can sit down and have conversations with and it'd be fine, okay? Because their discipline styles are different. He's all like, a little tap on the butt ain't never hurt nobody. I don't know if y'all got whippings, and if y'all are against it, as she would say, corporal punishment, let me know down below in the comments, because I'm still for giving a good whipping. It ain't no full-off whipping. Look, I had to tell y'all about how Children's Services was called on me once by the doctor's office on my oldest son. I told that lady, if I don't whoop them, you will. Anyway, she says that we're not going to whoop our children, and if you whoop our children, I'm going to whoop you. They're going to have to find a happy medium for that, because you're going to have to find something, and maybe it will work. For those of you who talk to your children, sit them down and talk. Tell me how that works. So that does not work for neither one of my sons. They don't understand unless I'm up here and not down here. I'm not serious if I'm down here. And then again, it could be different. You got a 2-parent home. I'm a single parent home. Y'all let me know down below in the comments what you think. I'm going to save the Woody and Miles visit until I get to Miles. Okay, is that all right with y'all? My phone is going off. You see Amani and Woody go to eat a little later. And you know, he dresses his ass off. Like that gold lame little dress she had on was cute. She needed some shapewear on underneath that. I mean, even small ladies could use shapewear. But her dress was cute. I don't know about that necklace. But Woody definitely dresses his ass off. And in a minute, we'll start dressing his wife. Though he's glad she put effort in how she looks, he is going to start dressing her. So last week I was saying he didn't say that he was in love with her. He just said that he loved her. But this week he definitely saying, I'm in love with my wife. And he asked her, me saying I love you and that I'm in love with you, does that make you feel pressured to say it back in return? And she said yes and no. And I saw her point on both ends. No, because I shouldn't have to feel like I need to be in the same place as you are. We are different people and we are going to experience things differently. That she moves slower than he does. And then yes, because I feel like I need to keep you engaged. You fell for me so quick. I don't want it to fizzle out, so I'm constantly figuring out how do I hold your attention. When I tell you that woman is a smart woman, she is a smart woman. They have a small little like divorce conversation, like just in jest or whatever. You know she don't never want to get a divorce. She started that off. She started saying that on day one. That the next time she get married, that's it. This is it. That's all. I say just, you know, fuck it. Go for it. Like, enjoy the moment. I think that they'll work out. Just keep putting in that. When things don't go when things don't go according to plan, or someone is feeling some kind of way, if they break out those communication skills that Amani has definitely zeroed in on, they'll be fine. Okay, let's talk Olivia and Brett. And I want to talk Olivia and Brett. Olivia, I think, just doesn't like Brett anymore. She's over his snarky remarks, his sarcastic dry wit. She's over his inability to be serious and to communicate. I think she's just over it and she's done because she's irritated by the questions that he's asking when making the bed. Girl, I wish I had somebody to help me make my bed and ask me dumb shit like, is this on the right side? Well, they go rock climbing, and for somebody that thinks that they're not going to do anything, Olivia and Brett are getting out a lot. This is something Brett does once or twice a month. So that is considered a date. And he, you know, kills it. And then she comes behind him and she kills it. And the only thing that stuck out to me is when he was coming down off the rock climbing and he said he had a wedgie. Oh, doesn't look like we're having any kids anytime soon. She said, that's good. Because we know she don't want to have no children. She don't want to have children. It ain't got nothing to do with later. It ain't got nothing to do with spending time with her husband and getting to know him. It got everything to do with that's not what she wants for herself. So they invited Christina and Henry and Amani and Woody to have crawfish. So the conversation at the table is really lighthearted, and really they want to see where their relationship lands as it relates to each couple. You know, and Woody and Brett, they snore. I mean, listen, I'm gonna be honest, dear future husband, I snore. I sound like a motorcycle and a Mack truck mixed together, especially when I'm tired. I don't snore all the time, but I definitely do snore. When Amani asked the question, I did something about, do you like each other or how you guys are getting along? Brett says, I'm increasingly in like with my wife, which was very nice. Like, I'm not in love with her. I'm still getting to know her, but I like her a lot. And I'm liking how Henry is talking more. If you notice, he's becoming more vocal. He's becoming more comfortable with the people around him, including Christina. We'll talk about it in a minute. But he's kind of finding his rhythm here. He also talks about the change in their dynamic. Like, things are getting better or moving forward. Like, he's really speaking up a lot. Christina says, you know what? She likes Henry. And shocked to everyone at the table, when they started talking about, you know, they were talking about we went golfing, and then he said we went salsa dancing, and Christina is really good at it. She looks really sexy doing it. That was a shocker even to me. Like, oh, she looks sexy? Because I didn't think so, but I'm not a man either, nor am I Henry. So Amani pulls Henry off to the side, because later on we find out her and Christina had a conversation, and she said that she would talk to Henry. Honey, and Henry spills the beans and says, listen, I don't like that she's impatient. I don't like that she's rude, comes off rude. It is a deal breaker for me. Like, I don't like impatient, rude ass people. You know, this came with, you know, her talking about affection. So pretty much he was like, I can't be affectionate with someone who is impatient and who is rude. And really, this needs to resolve itself or I'm out. Like, that's a deal breaker, and that's how somebody communicates a deal breaker, okay? But we're going to put a pin in that, because that deal breaker needed to be communicated to Christina. Well, when Olivia, Amani, and Christina go and they sit and they have a conversation away from the fellas, Honey and Amani shares what he said. Christina's taken it back. Feels some kind of way. Like, he ain't even telling me that. Now, if I recall correctly, he did tell her he didn't like her the way she was impatient and the way she was rude. But he did not say that it was a deal breaker. And that was the most important part that needed to be said. Like, I can't deal with somebody who's impatient, who's, you know, borderline disrespectful. I can't handle that. But that's not what he chose to do. Furthermore, I'm wondering how you feel about that. Was it Amani's responsibility to go back and say something? Was she supposed to find a different way to relay the information? This is why we don't get in other people's business. We don't get in their relationship business, because your loyalty lies to Christina because you like her, but Henry told you that kind of in confidence. I know I probably would have said something, especially if she'd asked me. I probably would have found an easier way to say it. She said that she is constantly second guessing how Henry feels. Like, I think he likes me, but he doesn't. We all say Henry don't like her, and because she's impatient and she's rude. Well, Olivia and Brett, Olivia takes Brett with her to trivia night at some bar with her friends. And Brett is like, this is stupid. It's not trivia. Because Brett is pretty smart. And if it came to trivia questions, I think that he would probably be able to answer them. But these are more like words and like word search scrambles and shit like that. So he's like not interested. It isn't his forte. But I think that he is just a complainer by nature. He was still there enjoying the company of Olivia and her friends. Kind of, sort of, maybe. Because Olivia read it as he didn't want to be there at all. That this wasn't for him. And it spoke a lot to her about him not being able to hang out with her friends and family. I think he did good, considering we know that he could be obnoxious when he drinks. That all he continues to say was, yeah, no, this isn't for me. Like, that's his opinion. Y'all feel like he should have tried a little more? Y'all let me know down below in the comments. Should he have put more effort into the trivia night with Olivia's friends? I feel like personally, she should have said to him, can you join in? Or, you know, you seem a little less social if you don't. You know, she should have said something and not just sat there and stewed. Okay, I'm gonna keep it a band. I ain't gonna lie. So since I just came off the heels of the Christina and Henry situation, let's talk about them. One thing's for sure, two things for certain. Christina just realized that marriage is not a Disney movie. That shit frolicking in the woods and in the fields and tossing rocks and eating ice cream and holding hands and looking at sunsets and rainbows is not really how a marriage works. A marriage is two people coming together, becoming a pair, having to operate in sync with one another. Okay, and so right now they are out of sync because they don't communicate well with one another, either of them. So let's talk about it. When they get back, after she hears the conversation between Amani and Henry, she wants to have a conversation. She says she feels like she was blindsided because he had never mentioned it to her that it was a deal breaker. Well, again, he mentioned that your impatience gets on my nerves. That ain't cool. I don't like it. He mentioned it. She overlooked it, as she does everything else when he speaks. She questioned the genuineness of the comment about her being sexy, which I think was genuine and really how he felt, because it was in the moment. You know what I'm saying? He didn't think twice about it. It kind of spewed out very quickly. So I really felt like he thought she was sexy when she danced. Oh, didn't y'all think that was true? Or you think he was just adding fluff like Zach? What y'all think? Christina, after expressing her disdain about him sharing how he felt with other people and not him, said that asked her where they stood. Where do we stand? But as he began to explain, she continued to cut him off. And that's what I mean when I say they both have communication issues. He does not articulate how he feels enough, or assertively, and she always cuts him off. So in order to find a happy ground, she has to let him speak. You can't get mad because he don't speak enough, but you constantly cutting him off. And he says, I don't know, too much for my liking. Well, you know, I don't know. It's too much. What don't you know? You know, you just not sharing and don't really know how to articulate how you feel it. Start with I feel like instead of, you know, I don't know. Like sometimes you can't articulate the situation, but you can definitely tell a person how you feel. And we cannot dictate, we cannot discount, we cannot determine how someone feels. You hear me? She then went on to say, you know, I just really kind of work. I wonder if you be dancing around answering stuff because you don't want to seem like an asshole. Because I can be an asshole for the both of us. If you don't want to look like one, I can do it. And I'm all like, but Christina, you've already looked like the bitch. So you don't want to look like the bitch and the asshole. Let him look like however, and you just be your authentic self. Someone will accept you and love you for who you are. He said to her, you listen, if you want me to make a decision right now if I want to be with you, no. I admire that. I admire his honesty. He said no. And that he didn't know if he was really able to move on or get over her previous behavior, but he is definitely willing to try. Like, I admire him saying that, because she was like, because if you don't want to be here, then you just stop, just quit, don't do it. I don't know, do y'all feel like it's genuine? Do you feel like he really wants to try, or do you feel like he's just under obligation? Somebody tell me something down below in the comments. Because he pretty much did just tell her, I don't really like you, but I'm willing to try and see if I can get past it, because you have been a little different. I have seen some changes in you, right? Christina mentioned what her deal breakers are, and that is not communicating how you feel and your thoughts. Well, that would mean that he's already broken the deal, that you should walk away, because he's not a great communicator. He doesn't communicate any of this stuff to you. Now, I do like how Henry took some initiative and put some questions in a bowl to play a game with his wife so that they can work on their communication, since they have a hard time connecting with one another. And I'm wondering, was that at the suggestion of the producers? Because remember when Christina said, y'all have a list of questions or something, because I can't just be carrying us. Y'all, what y'all think? I think that he might have had some help. I think that the producers gave him the questions for them to have, I guess, in an effort to help them connect better. The first question was to her, and it was, what do you feel the most fear of moving forward, or something like that? And she was like, not having any fun. My fear is that I won't be able to have fun in a marriage. And I think she was specifically speaking of her marriage with Henry, because she was like, I now see that you know how to have fun, that you know how to have a good time. It's Henry, because he seems dull. But when it's something that he likes and he's comfortable with, he's not. However, he did good with salsa, so way to go, Henry. Her question to him was, what I can promise you is, and he said that I would be respectful and committed. You committed to what? The process? Oh, because I don't know. I don't know what you committed to. You got to be more specific. He did say something about, you know, being with her and being in it, but it was to me a bunch of bullshit, because I don't think Henry likes her. I'm still waiting for a few more episodes to see if her medication is working and if that's gonna change Henry's mind. Y'all might feel differently, and I'm sure you're gonna let me know down below in the comments, where I like to see you. He asked her, why do you want this to work? And she said, I want to be with a good person. That's why. And you seem like a good person. That's enough. That's not a reason to be married. That's not a reason to want to make something work. Because if you are not compatible, just being with a good person is not going to be beneficial for either of you. He's a good person but doesn't want to be with you? That don't sound too cool. Henry said he feels like there's a lot of potential there. Is that before or after you blurted to everybody that she was impatient? Did I mention that these couples are 3 weeks in? I know we're not expecting everything to be great for all of them, right? We're not. Like, that would be too presumptuous. The standard would be set too high. Because I have to keep reminding myself that these people don't know one another, but these people did sign up for it and should be giving it a gallant effort. Let's talk Amelia and Bennett, shall we? The bottom line is, Amelia ain't too clean. Amelia is dirty. Amelia don't know how to, she's not very much domesticated. And I don't mean as in wifely duties. I meant as she's single and on her own. She must eat out all the time. Her room was clean, but was it really like, was it just cleaned up for the purpose of him coming over and us seeing her house and all that? You know what I'm saying? Like, because she ain't too clean, honey. All this stuff that he's saying and what we finding out say that she was definitely taught that the man was supposed to clean the stuff up. And I'm with it. But where is your responsibility? It should be an equal effort. So I say, let me know down below in the comments if I'm misreading this between the two of them. So he's writing out the chores for the draft. Amelia's like, I don't see us doing this for the rest of our lives. You know, she said that in her diary cam. And as I'm watching them, I'm saying to myself, this is the first issue between the two of them. It is not presented as one, but this is an issue. The cleanliness of it all is an issue. Because she's picking up all the non-consequential fucking chores, like taking the hard phone calls, entertaining the neighbors, you know, answering the door in the middle of the night. Like, she ain't picking shit like clean the bathroom, sweep the floor, wash the dishes. She got going to the mailbox. More rules should have been set out. For example, you only could have one non-chore or two, depending on how many you have. You know what I'm saying? Because he ended up with the crux of the work. But it might be good because though he wear dirty socks, he understands the importance of cleaning up his house. Baby, let me tell you, he's like, I don't like no nasty dirtiness. And like I said, she feels like she is the one that's a resident and pretty much is going to have the more strenuous schedule, be more of the breadwinner, and so he should do more of the cleaning. Anybody tell me something. So Amelia and Bennett meet Karin and Miles to play bocce ball. Never heard of it before. I probably wouldn't want to play. It's just throwing the ball. Who can get closest to like this little target that's thrown out on the ground. There's a prize for it. If you win the round, there's a prize. And the prize is a kiss. So here are how it goes. This is how it went. Bennett got kissed on the belly button. Miles kissed on the forehead, but Karin covered his eyes. So I was confused by that. Like, what's the point of covering his eyes? Just kiss him on the forehead. Amelia got kissed on the inner elbow. Very sensitive areas these people have chosen, the inner elbow. Have somebody kiss and lick that inner elbow for you. That joint area right here. See how that feels. And the belly button, you know, it's very sensual. Though it might not have a lot of feeling to it. Still very sensual act. And Karin, it was on the nose. But Miles ended up winning the entire round, right? The last round for it all. And Bennett's like a kiss on the lips. Like, let's stop all this forehead nose shit. And she kisses him on the lips. And Bennett's all like, you can thank me now. Because it seems like you guys are having a hard time with intimacy. Bennett, baby, you have no clue. At all. A little later, Bennett has a surprise for his beautiful wife. He makes them a vegan meal and invites two of his girlfriends over that are really weird as they are. With horns on their head and some kind of acorn kind of something on the other one's head. I don't know. They were both sort of alien-ish, but had beautiful voices, beautiful melodic voices to sing to his wife. I thought that was kind, and I appreciated that, and I'm just watching it on TV. I thought that was a kind gesture. Dinner and a song, child. Sing to me, okay? And I really love the way the two of them communicate and kind of work things out. Like, it's really logical, and they just, you know, have a conversation. Because Bennett's all like, how would you let me know if your emotional needs are not being met? And she's all like, I don't know, that's a tough one, but I would just tell you. And, you know, he jokes around and says I would have a tantrum. But low-key, it might not be the kind that we know of, but it may be some pouting involved. He says he's starting to feel all warm and gooey at this point about Amelia. That's cute. That's that, you know, that infatuation stage. And really, I believe, I'm gonna hold on to that. A little later, they go bike riding, super cute, holding hands together and bike riding. And I really feel like the way that their relationship is going is the way that Christina thinks that hers was supposed to go. Walks in the park, playing in the park, riding bikes, singing songs and shit. Like theirs, for people looking out, looks like a fairy tale when this is really just probably how they are. And because they communicate effectively with one another, they will probably be able to sustain that. So Bennett asks, what do I do to annoy you so far in the relationship? Amelia doesn't have an answer off top, so he says, you nasty. Amelia, the way that you're nasty bothers me. You wash the inside of the cup but leave the outside of the cup grimy. So how is the cup clean if you're not washing the inside of the cup? Because in her diary cam, she's all like, so I guess I had to wash the whole cup. Well, what the fuck you was washing? The whole cup requires washing in order to be clean. And then he's like kind of pressing her for an answer and then giving him examples of things that other people have said has been annoying, and she was like, no. And I really think that she's like her mother, has like a positive outlook on things. And he was like, she said in a diary cam again, why would I nitpick on things that aren't contributing, that are negative? You know what I'm saying? And I'm all like, yeah, but everybody is annoyed by something. And for Bennett says, my hope is that she is not overly, what was the word? Enamored with him, because whenever that has happened to him, that or that he has done that it has fizzled out really quickly. No, I just think that she's nice. He said that it was almost a turnoff. You could see like in his facial expressions, like he was just like, you don't have nothing. Me digging in my nose is not a problem. Me making the noise is not a problem. Okay, let us talk Karin and Miles. And though I know she made some great strides in this episode, I am still irritated by her. So like one of you said, you say it every week, I am trying to afford her grace. Baby, today is me trying to afford her grace. So I am going to try and keep my biases out as much as I can. Some parts are going to require it. But the stuff that she did good, I'm going to try and keep my biases out. No guarantees, fingers, eyes, toes crossed. So Karin didn't come home last night because of the conversation that they had the previous night about intimacy. And she didn't feel safe when he wrote sex with my wife on a calendar for a Saturday in the future. She felt unsafe. Now, listen. In the context that she was using it, made it seem like she thought that he would not respect her boundaries because he wrote it on the refrigerator. Yes, that might not have been the appropriate time. However, I do, because I didn't say it last week, I want y'all to know that he was trying to lighten the mood. And he did it in the wrong manner. Because we have to keep in mind that Karin was being immature by not discussing what the conversation was about, discussing intimacy. We have to remember that Karin was being immature when she did not discuss intimacy. So he tried to lighten the mood the best way he knew how. And it was in a jokingly manner, but she didn't find it funny. She decided not to come home, which is not okay. She said that she's questioning his motives. And if he's really who he says he is he really that patient? Was this a setup, y'all? Did the producers tell her not to come home? Because they 3 weeks in and he's been consistently kind and putting up with your bullshit. I really I really feel like she overreacted. I feel like she might have needed some time to kind of clear her thoughts or whatever, but she should have brought her ass home and dealt with the matter at hand. Not wait till the next day and then talk to him in a way that is very monotone, like she was being careful with her words, like she might have really been afraid of the shit that he was like. That man don't want nothing but good things for you, and he wants to be one of those good things. Because it killed me when she said, I don't know if we can move past this, in the little diary cam. And I thought, well, why wouldn't you be able to move past it? It's not like he pinned you against the wall and took it from you. He wrote it on the refrigerator and you did what you said. No, Miles ain't gonna get that. And that's that. He wasn't like, yes, I am. He understood. No, you're gonna do a blowjob. I mean, a blowjob. You're gonna get yourself a hand job. Well, she probably don't get a blowjob. Shit, it might not have been a slip of the tongue. She told him that it was a hurtful way for him to approach intimacy. So when she said that, I'm thinking of the whole situation, but she's specifically speaking of the calendar incident, because I think the way he handled and approached asking you about intimacy was not a problem. It was respectful. It was, you know, maybe you didn't feel the timing was right, but the conversation had to be had. Like, I'm going to go off on a tangent and it's going to make it longer. So let me get off the soapbox and finish this off. I wrote down, because when she sat with him and told him that she was pissed off because of the calendar and that she felt unsafe, I wrote down, we need to unpack that. And why did she feel disrespected? Because he didn't rub his hand up her leg. He didn't come up behind her and kiss her on her neck. He didn't do any of that. He wrote it on the calendar. And all you had to do was say, yeah, no, that's not going to happen. Erase that, you know, let's just let it happen organically. Don't be putting no time frame on it. Like, that's what real adults do. And if you like him, you'd be like, you would have laughed it off and just wiped it off. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm not taking it as seriously as I should. He apologizes for betraying her trust. You know, and I understand having boundaries, but I really feel like this is ridiculous. Like, this boundary makes no sense. However, she did say, I'm going to be more attentive. I'm going to, you know, try and be more affectionate. All right, Karen. And for me, though, everything you're doing is not, I don't like it. I don't care anymore. Like, I can care one way or the other if you guys make it. Because I was rooting for you. I was rooting for you. We all were rooting for you. And here you are with the bullshit. Well, I'm going to insert this here because Woody and Miles meet up at the barber shop. Because they friends. And the last place they talked about going on Married at First Sight was in that barber shop, okay? They talk about the I love you conversation with Amani, and you know, it's like, we bet that I would say I love you first, meaning Miles would say I love you first, because it's not known for Woody to say I love you, which is a little bit of a red flag. Like, if you don't normally tell a woman I love you, and you're telling Amani that you love her now, it's a bit of a flag. What makes her so special? Her goodies, her goodies, her goodies. Yes, her goodies. Is it infatuation? Seems like more of an infatuation situation than a love situation. And we really need to be able to identify what the difference is. Because you know, though she's showing a lot and they're being vulnerable with one another, I had to really think about it. You aren't really in love with her. You don't know her. It's been 3 weeks. You love things about her, pieces of her, her beautiful skin, the way her body feels, the intimacy that you guys have, the way she communicates. But do you really love her? Are you really in love with her? Like, that's my question. Is it more of like an infatuation? Then the conversation goes to Karin not coming home. Baby, and Woody is like, yeah, that ain't cool. And asked how he felt, and he said he was pissed. He was angry. And he said to Woody, had it been me and I not came home, she would feel some type of way. So listen, Miles, if you can share this with the homie Woody, that's some information you should have shared with your wife. Like, after you apologized and you told her you crossed the boundary and, you know, betrayal and all that shit, you should have said, I don't know if you were trying to get back, but it had me feel some kind of way. It made me anxious, as he told us. He was angry. He was anxious. It could have sent him into a downward spiral of a depression. Okay? Remember, he is clinically depressed. All of this could have had a bearing on who he was. Woody said, do you think she likes you, bro? That was the question of the century. And the way Miles answered, he said, yeah, he thinks she likes him. But it was more of him like trying to convince himself. Oh, yeah, dog, yeah. I know she likes me. And he doesn't want Miles to compromise who he is and not get his needs met. That seems to be a theme for everybody. Everybody is saying the same thing about Miles because it's evident that he will put himself aside so that he can make sure that she's happy and that she gets her needs met. But what about yours? You know, they have some surface conversations a little later about favorite colors and shoe sizes and shit like that. You know, after they were with Bennett and Amelia, realizing that they needed to know more about each other. But later on, she said that she likes to snuggle with Miles. And I was surprised, you know, pleasantly surprised that she scooted herself on over up under him, especially since you felt so unsafe, you know, 2 days before. I feel some kind of way about her responses. Are you just doing that for Miles because you aren't attracted to Miles? Because now you pushing up on him. Your ass is up on his penis. Like, I don't know, y'all. Am I tripping? Because if you felt unsafe by what he said, you would still be having barricades in the bed. You know that man is not going to do no harm to you. It's the dumbest shit ever. They went to yoga as her gift to him so that they can build intimacy. I thought that this was a good exercise for them, especially the back-to-back heartbeat, like feel each other's breathing. It's not quite like tantric sex, but it is. If y'all haven't or don't know what that is, take a look it up. Look it up. You know, humble yourself, take her shoes off, rub his feet, put the warm towel on it. It kind of is not subservient, but it is. It's humbling yourself and saying, you know, let me serve you, right? And that's her thing. Like, she wants to be traditional marriage, God, husband, wife, children. There's nothing wrong with that. And you know, he's enjoying it. He's very vocal about how what she's doing is making him feel. And for her, that's that thing. He's too in touch with his emotions. Listen, when she says that she is physically attracted to him and that she wants to be eventually intimate with him, I'm glad to see that she's making steps, making progress towards doing that. However, I was really surprised. I was really happy for her that she's starting to come out of her shell. But I'm going to just be honest with you. At this point, I don't even like Karin. Maybe that'll change next episode. But right now, I have a sour taste in my mouth for her. Listen, y'all let me know down below in the comments what you think about this episode. Let's go over it real quick. Amani and Woody, big yes to me. Amelia and Bennett, yes to me. Christina and Henry is a no. Olivia and Brett, hell no. Karin and Miles, I don't even care. How about that? That's probably worse than a no. I am your girl, Talisa Ray. Thank you so much for watching my review of Married at First Sight, Season 11, episode number 10, Deal Breakers. First time here, click the subscribe button, become a ray of sunshine, click the notification bell so you're alerted when I finally upload these videos. I don't know what the deal is. I'm trying to see if I need an update on Final Cut Pro. Nevertheless, last but not least, because you like me and I know it's real, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Hugs and kisses and lots of love. I'll catch you on the next review.